We're playing now Halfdan and the Inheritance of the Ynglings, a Viking history campaign. And we'll start with the prologue. It is the two-scenario campaign with prologue and the playable scenario. Prologue is a cutscene and the second scenario is playable, so let's start. The Battle of Agdir. My history tells of a time when the gods intervened less and less in the fate of humans. In those days, a people lived far to the north. They nourished themselves from hunting and agriculture and trade. I will tell you of the Vikings who built ships lightning fast and could fight like furious bears or hungry wolves. Their country was split into many small kingdoms, which were governed by the descendants of many clans. Rumor had it that some of them descended in a direct line from the gods. One of them was the clan of the Ynglings, of which some said Odin, most powerful of all gods, was the father. He lay with a mortal woman once, and she bore him a son. And Odin took care of his child and gave him an amulet, called Odin's magic sword. This amulet passed from father to son, and it protected the body, soul, health, and the house of whoever carried it. The day came when Gudrod, hunting king, the 24th descendant of his clan, took over the legacy of the Ynglings, and thus also received the amulet. He demanded Harald, handsome lip, to give his daughter Assa to him to be his wife, but Harald refused. Enraged by this disgrace, Gudrod gathered his army together and went to Agdir in order to get Assa by force and take her to Westfold. Alright. Prologue. Agdir, CAD 800.
Deine Zeit ist abgelaufen, Harald.
Your time is running out, Harald.
Tata!
Father!
Nicht schlecht für einen alten Mann.
Not bad for an old man.
Vater! Nein!
Father,
Du
no!
gehörst jetzt mir.
You belong to me now. Many warriors died in this battle and were taken by the Valkyries to Valhalla. Solely due to Gudrod's greed and pride. His evil behavior drew the anger of the gods on him, and he fell in disgrace. And unnoticed, Odin's old amulet, which should protect the clan of the Ynglings, was lost. Nobody knew what had happened to it. The Ynglings kidnapped Assa and took her to Gudrod's fortress at Westfold to be his wife. After several years, she bore him a son who was called Halfdan, Halfdan the Black. But Assa's hate of her husband grew with the child, and when boy was a year old, she had Gudrod killed. She fled with Halfdan back to Agdir, where she hoped for peace for herself and her son. Now play the next scenario in order to understand how the story continues. Have fun and may Odin be with you. Okay, so this is the end of the prologue. And we'll start the next scenario. Broken Luck. 20 years later. The large, gaunt man stood slightly bent at a small wooden table. His long black hair fell in wisps over his forehead, and with a look of disgust he ate the food which the guard had put before him. A thick, slimy mash with stale bits of bread, which were already several days old. Beside the wooden plate stood a cup of stagnant water. The man knitted his dark, bushy brows together and looked fiercely at the ceiling. "By God, Odin," he cried, "I am the descendant of the Ynglings. Give me an axe and I will cut off heads of these wretched dogs." Frightened, the guards twitched. Their prisoner was still very young. His hands were bound by chains and he was unarmed. But his gigantic form and his mad rage meant he was nevertheless terrifying, and they feared him greatly. Because they knew who he was, his name was Halfdan, also known as the Black One, because of his long dark mane, son of Gudrod and Assa. A year ago, his older half-brother Olaf, Gudrod's son, from his first marriage, had sneakily attacked him, taken him prisoner, and then announced that Halfdan had drowned when his ship sank. Now Olaf cruelly governed over the southwest of the country. He stationed his soldiers everywhere, and anyone who spoke a word against him was immediately killed. Halfdan knew this from overhearing the gossip of his guards, and he boiled with rage at what he heard. By Odin, I will show this coward what it means to be chained up like a dog, he thought to himself. I will not wait in this decaying hall to die, and for the Valkyries to take me to Valhalla. If my fate is that I go to Valhalla, then I will go from the battlefield with a sword in my hands and my head held high to sit at Odin's table. And the day of revenge was, he knew with certainty, very close. The chains which they put around his strong arms might have been heavy and powerful, but not enough to subdue a descendant of the Ynglings. And despite their fear of Halfdan, the guards had become very careless. Night after night he flied away at his chains with a golden ring inherited from his mother's house, which the guards had overlooked. Now he waited only for the right moment to completely break free. Alright, so this is the author, Zengerle, G. Zengerle. Alright, let's... Okay.
Diese verdammte Rambock muss endlich repariert werden. Holt
This
den
damaged
Schmied, damit
ram
das
must
Ding
be repaired
mitnimmt.
at last. Get the blacksmith so he can get
Jawohl.
the thing working. Yes, sir.
Der Moment ist gekommen. Diesem Narren werde ich den Kopf abschlagen.
The moment is here. I'll hit this fool on the head.
Deine Axt wirst du nicht mehr brauchen.
You won't be needing your axe anymore.
Und nun auch ebenso wenig deine Rüstung.
And the same goes for your armor.
Ich verstecke mich im Rambock. Der Schmied wird ihn holen. Der Rest wird dann ein leichtes.
I'll hide in the ram. The smith will come and get it. The rest will be easy.
Der Rambock sieht arg mitgenommen aus.
Wilfred the blacksmith. This looks like the one to be taken away. Halfdan has hidden himself in the ram. Click on the ram and then on Halfdan to get him out. Wait for a favorable moment so that he can safely escape prison. Halfdan must survive.
Verdammt, ist die Ramme schwer.
This ram is a heavy one. Alright, let's save.
Dann werde ich mich mal an die Arbeit machen.
Now I will get to work.
Sieht wohl noch schlimmer aus, als ich dachte.
Looks even worse than I thought.
Til bardaga, Bodord.
Oh no, Halfdan is dead. Okay, so let's reload.
Dann werde ich mich mal an die Arbeit machen.
Now I will get to work.
Sieht wohl noch schlimmer aus, als ich dachte.
Looks even worse than I thought.
Die sieht eher aus, als ob sie gleich auseinanderfällt.
Looks like it's about to break
Was
apart.
zum Teufel?
What on earth?
Radida! Bodord! Til hverdaga, buin, Bodord! Ja?
Halfdan, ihr lebt? Alle dachten, ihr
Halfdan,
wärt
you're
tot.
alive. Everyone thought you were dead.
Kann ein toter Mann auf der
Can a
Erde
dead man
gehen?
walk the earth?
Glaube nicht länger diese Lügen,
These
die
lies
Olaf
which Olaf
verbreitet.
spreads.
Schließ dich mir an, denn für meine Rache brauche ich starke Männer an meiner Seite.
Join me
Mein Schwert wird für euch kämpfen.
Join me to get my revenge. I will need strong men by my side. Wilfred, my sword will fight for you. All right.
Autilagi!
Quickly flee from the blacksmith. The guards will soon notice you escaped and will pursue you. Halfdan now needs a safe place where he and his allies can rally and plan his campaign of revenge. In the south of the country, the old castle still stands, in which his mother was born. Make your way there. Halfdan and Wilfred must survive. Okay. Alright, so we will save quickly. And this should be it. And I see you guys next time.